Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel and welcome to a quite long video, but I promise it will be worth it because this house is something a little bit different. We do a lot of cool things here using the terrain tools. You see that right now we are creating a lake and a little hill on the side because we are building a lake house. Now this is on the world that came with Outdoor Retreat. I wanted it to be like in the woods, like covered with pine trees and have like pretty views. So this is the perfect spot to put it. Obviously you cannot live there because it is a vacation world, but now that we do have different worlds, if you do have the pack, the high school years pack, this would fit there quite nicely as well because it's also like quite a woody world with a lot of large trees, so would fit there quite nicely. Now, this house ended up being quite large. I wanted this house to be those homes where it looks kind of small from the outside, but then you go inside and you realize it's massive. That is why the second floor, you have 3 floors in this house. You have the main floor where you have your dining room, your living room, your kitchen, and then you have 2 floors with bedrooms upstairs. Now, one of those floors on the front side of the house is completely covered with a roof. So from the front of the house, you think it only has 2 floors, but then when you look at the back of the house and you see the huge windows, you realize that this house is quite extensive. Now, building this house, I go into cameraman mode a lot just to see what the view looks like so I can get the best angles to put the windows in. And I couldn't help but look outside and be reminded of Twilight. This world always reminds me of, the world with Twilight. So that was quite fun. I love this world. Now we have 2 pieces of news that has to do with The Sims. 2 quite exciting news. One of them is that The Sims 4 base game will be free for everyone. It's absolutely free. It usually costs, I believe, $60. I can't be quite sure, but I do believe that's what it used to cost, and now it is absolutely free. Lots of people I've seen in the community are quite upset about it because, you've spent your hard-earned money and now people are getting it for free. I am the kind of person I like to look at the good sides of things. So for me, I think it's good because it will bring a lot more people into the Sims community. Loads more people will play the game, meaning that the Sims team will have to make better packs and better things for us. Otherwise, the repercussions will be bigger. So that is good. Maybe they will finally fix the wedding pack. I heard that a bug was fixed, but that it still doesn't work like it's supposed to. So that is quite disappointing. If you've got that pack, I mean, I don't play The Sims, but I can imagine it can be quite annoying. Now, the other piece of news, there is a kit that came out, the Desert Luxe kit. If you get it before, I believe, the 17th of October, that kit will be 100% free as well. After that, if you don't get it in time, you will have to pay for it. Kits, I believe they're $7.99 in pounds. So that should be like $10 maybe. I'm not quite sure actually. But in pounds, I believe it's $7.99. And you can get that right now for absolutely free. The things, it's like courtyard stuff, but it does have the best sofa that I have seen in The Sims. I like sofas that look quite cushioned and comfortable to sit at. Mostly the sofas we have, they're quite square or like wooden arms. So, place where it wouldn't be very comfortable to take a nap on. but this sofa, it is beautiful, and all of the stuff, they have very neutral tones. They have beautiful windows. There is a concertine type sliding door, which stays open all of the time. I've seen some people say that they are quite disappointed that the door, there's no animation for the door open or closing, that the door just remains open all of the time. For me, that doesn't affect me. I do not like that door very much, to be honest, because you can see like the hinges, they're quite prominent on both sides of the door, and it's a little bit distracting for my brain. I will use it, but it's not my favorite thing. My favorite thing has to be the sofa. It looks very cozy and comfy. So go get that. So you just have to go on to Origin, or I believe you can get it from the game itself. So once you load up your game, on the front loading page, there will be the pack there and you can download it. That is quite exciting. That is like almost a edition of base game stuff. So I was quite excited to hear that, and maybe they will do more things like this in the future, hopefully, or add a lot more things into the base game. Now, the more people will have it, that is another plus. A lot more swatches as well. We need quite more things in the base game only, so that we can, you know, make houses look good. Anyways, talking about this particular house here. So this house, on the main area, you have the living / dining room, which is this room over here. I created a little, what would you call it, little console table next to the dining room. I like that. I like thinking that you would keep, you know, your cutlery and your crockery over there, you know, your fancy plates, for, you know, fancier family dinners. It's quite nice. So on this side of the house as well, you do have 3 balconies, because you do not have a lot of garden space, although this lot is huge. It is mostly water. You do have some areas where you could put stuff on, but not too much. So I wanted some outdoor areas. We've got just a few seating, and we do have a hot tub outside, so you know, you can soak in there and look at the view, and it's beautiful. I love the view from this house. Now, the struggle with building lakes in The Sims is making it look more natural, because obviously the lake does not lead anywhere. So we use a lot of rocks and a lot of shrubbery and plants just to make it look a bit more natural. It's obviously, you cannot make it look perfect because, you know, it's artificial, but we do try to smooth it out a bit and make it look okay-ish. There is also a little gazebo on top of the water that has a little dining area and a jacuzzi. If this was my house and if I lived here, I would spend my life there. That would be my spot. Just sitting on those little recliners by the water, catching some sun. That would be ideal for me. Now, this house ends up having 6 bedrooms, and from those 6 bedrooms, 4 have their own ensuite bathroom, and then 2 kids' bedrooms share a bathroom. So one of those kids' bedrooms is a taller room also, by the way. Now, this house here was built before I was doing any of the packed restrictions. So you will see I use a lot of things from all different packs, especially the blooming kits. The kits that comes with all of the plants, because I just love the plants that come with that kit. You'll see them everywhere here. But so yeah, this house does have a lot of packs. So if you only have the base game or only 1 or 2 packs, you will need to make a few alterations. Landscaping wise, I believe you'll be fine, but the windows, they're not base game. So you will need to have a few alterations here and there, but I don't think it's anything too hard. Probably a lot more furnishing than anything else. Now, this bedroom here is my favorite. all white bedroom. I just love that. And the house, as you can see, due to the huge windows, and this lot has quite nice solar exposure. So there's a lot of sun. The house is very bright and airy. And so we don't put curtains on any of the windows because we don't want to mess that up. Just imagine that the windows are tinted and that you can't look inside properly. Yeah. This house was built quite a while ago, I should say. There is another house that I have built a long time ago that I want to make a video about because I spent ages on that house. It is a £1 million or 1 million simoleon Tudor styled house. It took me a long time because when I build houses that cost 1 million, I make sure that they cost 1 million, not 1,034,000. No, it has to be 1 million exactly. So that takes a little bit of working around and some, mental gymnastics, a bit of math and calculator next to me just to make sure. But it ended up being just that. And it was a lot of work, so I want to share that with you. So there will be quite a lot of new videos coming up all of the time. So it is now 3 days later. If you have noticed that there was a cut in the audio there. I did the first half of this recording a few days ago. Then I had some stuff coming up with my kids, so I paused it. And then since then, quite a lot of things happened, such as the Queen's funeral, Queen Elizabeth II, her funeral. During that day, my kids were out of school because it was a bank holiday. And usually I don't like to do voiceovers because although my kids are grown, they're still quite loud with their TikToks or walking around upstairs. So I would rather just do this whilst they're not at home. Since then, I have also built quite a few houses. I've been on a streak lately. I am planning also to make a video because every video I post, I tend to post it on Facebook groups and I get a lot of questions. How do you do this? How do you do that? Like in terms of building and roofing or working around with the platforms, or terrain editing is the one I get most questions about. So if you have been on my channel for a long time, you would know that I had a series called The Basics of Building, where we went around the basics. Maybe right now I will try to teach or to do tutorials on things that are a little bit harder or things that you have to tweak around a bit until you get the gist of it, such as terrain editing. It does take a while. Some people get it straight away. Some, you have to practice quite a lot. I had to practice quite a bit. But once you do it, it adds a lot of detail into your homes, especially if you only have the base game or 1 or 2 packs. Using the terrain tools will help you immensely because it will make such a huge change to a house without adding any extra packs or anything. So, you need to use every weapon available to you to make the best house that you can make. So tell me what you think about that, or tell me things that you would like me to do tutorials about. So terrain editing is one I thought about. The other one would be roofing, and the other one would be general building. I've noticed a lot of people, when they start building, they tend to do like a matchbox kind of build. And so that has that look of like, this is my first build because it is a rectangle or a square. So I'm trying to maybe make a video on telling you how to correct that. Yeah, maybe I could try and do something like that. If you do want to know anything particular, do leave that in the comments down below. Now, like I said in the first half of this video, this house was built quite a while ago. So I will probably struggle in the next few minutes to talk about this house, but I do love the ending result of the house. I love the color of that water. I did not want the water to be like very clear, like tropical. I love this like a green color. Now this here was built before, sorry, I am a bit off with my words today, but before I was aware that we had spawners. But if you do have those and you know how to access them in the debug menu, then you can add swans and fish into this little pond lake area. The bad thing about it is that you cannot actually swim, not sim. You cannot swim in it. You can like play in the water. There's that animation where they just go like knee deep and they just play in it. I wish you could swim in it. It looks lovely, you know, but that is unfortunately something that you cannot do. Maybe in the future we will get an update where you will be able to swim in ponds. Hopefully we do. And yeah, so this house, I was very happy with it. I like the modern interior, and what I like the best about the house is that from the front it looks like it only has 2 floors, because the middle floor of the house is completely covered by a roof. I did that because I did not want the house from like the view from very far away to look like a huge tower on top of a mountain. I wanted it to look like smaller. I want to look like a cute little house on top of a hill. But in actuality, the house is quite large. Also on the floor, on the main floor, there's also a office, there's a kitchen, and there's a few little decks here and there. And there's a lot of bathrooms and a toddler room. So what more could you need? Now this lot is on a 50 by 50. If you do want to expand it for some reason, you can always go up or you can expand sideways. If you need a bigger lot itself, then there are some 64 by 64 lots that you could place this on. Now, this is very important. If you do not load this house, or mainly every house that I build, you will need to have your move objects cheats enabled. Otherwise, loads of things are going to disappear, such as the rocks, bottled water, or some of the shrubbery, because that cheat allows you to intersect objects together. If that cheat is not enabled, then 2 objects that are like touching each other or too close by, they will disappear. So Google that. Just Google move objects cheats Sims 4 and it will tell you how to do it. It is actually quite easy, and that way none of the items will disappear and you will get this house as is. Now, if you do want to download this or any other of my homes, then you can of course find me on the gallery using hashtag SimsDesigns or hashtag SimsDesignsYT. Thank you very much for staying until now, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!